Alright guys, MCU Collector here with the last video of the packaged figures. There'll be one more additional video for the Build-A-Figure, but we have the 6th figure of the wave. This is the Invincible Iron Man from the all-new, all-different Marvel. So this is the current, or the most current, excuse me, suit that he would have had in his most recent run. So the all-new, all-different Avengers team, this is the suit that he was wearing. So very, very modern suit. He does not come with the Build-A-Figure piece, but I do really like the way this Iron Man figure looks. So let's take a look at it. You see Invincible Iron Man logo down there at the bottom. Iron Man helmet logo up at the top. Really cool artwork on the side. Back of the package reads, technological upgrades and weapons help Iron Man bring order to any battle. You can see a product shot of the figure, all the figures from the wave. So let's open it up and take a look at the accessories, and then we'll take a look at the figure. Now this figure does come with 2 blue repulsor effects. Same effects that we've seen with all the other Iron Man figures. Nothing different. There really isn't even additional paint that was added on like on some of the figures have. Yeah, so not a whole lot there. But we get interchangeable hands, which is really nice. One thing that I do like about the Iron Man figure, I think he's a little bit bulkier than some of the other Iron Man figures that we've seen, which is good, especially when you have somebody in a metal suit. It's supposed to be somebody in there, you'd think he would be a little bit bulky. Really cool thing about this hand, this is kind of the open hand, so you can give it really that repulsor effect. So you can really port in those effects right there. Pops right in there and fits snug. I think that looks great. And he actually already he has 2 of those. One of them's already on the figure. So in addition to those repulsor effects, we get this nice arm cannon that looks like it's going to just rest on his arm. That suit in the comic can kind of adjust. It has some fluidity to it. So it can kind of turn into a cannon. That's what we see. So this one's just kind of an add-on piece. There's no paint to it or anything, but we get a lot of that pearl marbleization in there, which I don't mind. I think it does look good. But there it is. I'll put that on the figure when we get it out. One exciting thing was definitely the inclusion of a new Tony Stark head sculpt, a comic Tony Stark. There's not a whole lot of paint work to it. I think it does come out pretty clean looking. He looks a little pale to me, but I do like it. The sculpted hair, I think, comes out looking really good. You can see it's just like the hair piece is just a separate piece on top of the face sculpt. But I like it. I do think it looks really good. Now, to look at the figure, there is not a whole lot to this figure, but I do really like the way it looks, especially because I don't actually have any comic Iron Man figures other than the new vintage wave. So it's nice to kind of have something in that. One thing that's odd is this figure is actually really light. It almost feels a little hollow, like there's not a whole lot going on to it. But it looks good. Now, there's not a lot of paint, but the paint that's there is pretty effective. We get the gold, but a little bit of blue there on the hands. The can't think of what it's called there. The repulsor chest piece there, and then the same blue for the eyes. Sculpt work looks pretty good. I do like it. He has feet kind of go off to the sides, which is a little bit odd. But we'll take a look at the figure. The red in there, you can see there's some marbleization in some areas of the figure. I can kind of see it a little bit in the shoulder. But let's take a look at the articulation. So Iron Man is a flying character. Let's see if he can really get his head up. And he can't. There is no... Oh, there it is. There it is. You got to kind of crack it. So he can look down pretty good. He can actually look up pretty decent. So you have a flying character, put him into flying poses, and he will actually be able to do it. So that's pretty good. You can actually see some sculpt in there with some nice gunmetal gray in there as well. So that actually looks really good. Shoulder does not hinge up. You can see the funky sculpt to it. You can see the way that looks. You see this piece here doesn't actually allow for that shoulder to hinge up. You almost have to turn it a little bit to get it, and then you can get it up that high. So you want to be careful. So again, you have to turn it, hinge it, turn it back. Oh, there we go. So actually when you hinge it, it just slides right under there pretty decently. We do have an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, wrists swivel, and they do have a hinge. Same on both sides. You can see the hand right there. We could port in that repulsor effect. Now the ab crunch, one click and he goes down that far. So decent crunch. Back, he goes back quite a bit, but it's starting to look a little bit unnatural there, especially for a big iron suit. But we do get some good movement in there. There is a waist cut there. Legs go that far apart. We have an upper thigh cut, which is very, very stiff. So be careful there, but the leg does get a lot of range of motion kind of in there. We do have a double jointed knee. And then wrist or the ankle. It doesn't want to move for me, but we have ankle pivot. See, it doesn't want to hinge, so hinges all the way down and then hinges up quite a bit, so that looks pretty good. But the Iron Man figure does look very good. I am happy to have a comic book Iron Man figure in my collection now. So definitely a good figure. I know a lot of people were wanting to complete the all-new, all-different Avengers team. So this was the last piece to do so. We've gotten Jane Foster Thor. You have Miles Morales. You have a Vision, Miss Marvel, and then Sam Wilson, Captain America. So he finishes off that team. So a lot of people were really looking forward to this one, even though it's another Iron Man, and we all know how many Iron Man figures there are. However, there haven't been a huge amount of comic book Iron Man figures lately, so this is a new one. Definitely a good looking piece. And again, there was no Build-A-Figure to go along with it. But thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and leave a comment down below. But thanks for watching.